all praise to the Most High through Christ, YAH, through Yahushua Mashiach. Finishing up this lesson. Going to be doing, so we already touched bases on how the ungodly came to be, how that seed line came back, and we talked about the Nephilim giants coming through the seed line of Canaan, and how they were men of stature, large individuals. So now we're going to go into other aspect of other men of stature, but on a smaller scale, because when you read the scriptures on this, the men of Zion were not known as being the man of stature. That was the other nations, some particular nations, especially those 7 nations of Canaan. They came out of Canaan, the Jebusites, Hibbites, the Hivites, and all those 7 nations that Zion was not supposed to mingle with or whatnot. But I pray the lesson go out in truth and sincerity for edification. In the name of YAH, through Yahushua Mashiach. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from Satan. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Hallelujah. All right. We're going to first start about how the Most High never wanted all this mixing. So we're going to turn to first the book of Jasher. And that is Jasher chapter 14, verse 18. All right, Jasher chapter 4, verse 18. And their judges and rulers went to the daughters of man and took their wives by force, talking about the fallen angels and whatnot, the ones that fell from grace, from their husbands according to their choice. And the sons of man in those days took from the cattle of the earth, the beasts of the field, and the fowls of the air, and taught the mixture. See right here, all this mixing. See, the Most High is a geneticist too, but he does his stuff in purity. And Satan is a geneticist too, because Satan wants to be like the Most High. And Satan likes to gene manipulate what the Most High has already created to create something, a new breed of something, but that is no longer technically is of the Most High, but in aspect is not of the Most High, because things are being blended that the Most High did not want to be blended, just like animals, just like, a lot of that Greek mythology, a centaur, and other animals like that, creatures blended together, half man, half beast, or like a lion, tiger, or a liger. These things are not supposed to be. And taught the mixture of animals of one species with the other, in order therewith to provoke the Most High. So this is done to provoke the Most High. Nevertheless, if you believe in the book of Jasher or not, nevertheless, in the Bible, it clearly shows that the Most High does not like mixing things. He does not like mixing things. So even if someone does not believe in the book of Jasher, that is perfectly fine, but the principle of this matter is still valid. And taught the mixture of animals of one species with the other, in order where therewith to provoke the Most High. And the Most High saw the whole earth, and it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted its ways upon the earth, all man and all animals. And that's what's so big about taking the mark of the beast. You become something different. You are no longer what he had created. You have transformed, physically transformed and manifested into something else outside of what he created you to be. And that's why the scriptures say, anyone who take the mark of the beast, there's no salvation for you. You're done. Now we're going to go to Nehemiah chapter 10, verse 30. Nehemiah 10, verse 30. and that we would not give our daughters unto the people of the land, nor take their daughters for our sons. Why is that? Because the mixing thing, the Most High does not want that, and especially these particular nations. The Most High is not with that. He's never been like that. He's a puritist. He likes things pure. This seed line over here, this seed line over here. He's a puritist. And even in the book of Nehemiah, who was a prophet of the Most High, even stressed that point, that, hey, don't give your daughters to these people, and don't take their daughters for your sons. Don't do that, because it's all about their purity of that seed line. And Satan loves to mingle in with the purity of that seed line. Now we're going to go to Isaiah chapter 5, verse 1 to 4. And we're about to see how this is displaying here with the Most High through Christ. All right, now will I sing to my well-beloved a song of my beloved touching his vineyard. My well-beloved hath a vineyard in a very fruitful hill, and he fenced it, and gathered out the stones thereof, and planted it with the choicest vine, and built a tower in the midst of it, and also made a winepress therein. And he looked that it should bring forth grapes, and it brought forth wild grapes. Check this out, because verse 2 is all about that purity. He does a whole lot to make sure he get that purity. And now, verse 3, and now, O inhabitants of Jerusalem, and men of Judah, judge, I pray you, betwixt me and my vineyard. Check it out. What could have been done more to my vineyard? The Most High is just saying, like, man, I have done everything that you could think of. Show me if you see something that I missed, that I have not done in it. Wherefore, when I looked that it should bring forth grapes, brought it forth wild grapes. Why was this? Because they're playing the whore with these other nations. They doing this unbeknownst to them in a certain aspect, gene manipulation, and it's bringing forth wickedness in that seed line. As long as that seed line is not being mingled with the other seed lines, that's not going to be a problem for that seed line at that particular moment right here. But we know they went up whoring with all these other things, to the idol worship, to getting with other nations, and it brought in wickedness. And this is why the Most High, he's a puritist. He likes things pure. That's why the scriptures say they were all given white robes. White robes symbolizes what? Purity. A virgin. When a man takes a wife, she's supposed to be a virgin. He loves purity. A people, a pure seed. It should be a pure seed. I checked it out too, since it's on my mind. Pure seed. Holy seed. See if anything pop up. Yeah, Ezra chapter 9 verse 2. For they have taken of their daughters for themselves and for their sons, so that the holy seed, something that's supposed to be separate, have mingled themselves with the people of those lands. Yea, the hand of the princes and rulers have been chief in this trespass. You see right here, and it's a problem right here, because the Most High didn't want all that mingling. But I'm just taking this part of the lesson to build up, to show you how this wasn't supposed to be, and about those descendants of the Nephilim giants. First Maccabees chapter 44 to 47. All right, this is First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 41 to 47. And the merchants of the country, hearing the fame of them, took silver and gold very much, with servants and came into the camp to buy the children of Israel for slaves. A power also of Syria and of the land of the Philistines joined themselves unto them. Now, when Judas and his brother saw that, well, I'm gonna get another translation. This is more so the 1611 translation. Okay, here we go. First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 41 to 47. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. See, this is the thing that what Satan wants to do. Satan wants to make everything one. Put everything in a big melting pot and mix it together. Nah, because the Most High, how he does it, he wants the fine gold. He wants the fine silver. So he'll put you in a pot to burn off the infirmities, the impurities. But Satan says, because it's the curses that are upon Satan. Satan is still cursed. Satan, the Most High put curses upon Satan. So Satan likes to make the perverted and the mutated likable, but comes as an angel of light. But when you see Satan for what Satan really is, I mean, just some type of mutant, fell from honor, fell from grace, fell from the beauty of the Most High through Christ. And everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandments of the king. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion, and sacrificed unto idols, and profaned the Sabbath. For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land. See right here also that word strange. Strange means, that evil stuff, not stranger, strange. Like what they're doing right here is strange customs, a strange people. Solomon took many strange witches, these whores of Satan, not stranger, and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days, the holy days, and pollute the sanctuary and the holy people, set up altars and groves, and the groves go back to Mother Goddess worship, Ashtaroth. That's what the giants originally was worshiping. So all this stuff goes back up to what? Mother Goddess worship. That's the same thing the giants was doing. They was worshiping Ashtaroth. They built her groves. And what does this king of this who was this? 41? Antiochus. What was he doing? Building what? Groves. And chapels of idols. Come to the chapel. What they want you to do, come to the chapel of idols and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts. See that right there? But the main part of is talking about being one people. Being one people. This is what Satan wants you to do. Be one thing. Take the mark of the beast. Transform into that wickedness. Don't be separate. Don't be a holy seed. Because Satan loves that blending. All right, now we're going to go to Genesis chapter 34. Genesis 34. Verse 1 on down. And Diana, the daughter of Leah, which she bore unto Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land. And when Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivites, and who are the Hivites come from? Who they come from? Sixth generation descendant of who? Cain. That cursed seed line bastards. because they always want, that's the double seed line. Canaan is a double seed line. They always want the blessings of Israel, the chosen seed line. They want the land, and they want the women and everything, the blessings. Homer of the Hivites, prince of the country, saw her. He took her and lay with her, raped her, and defiled her. This cursed seed, Canaanite descendant, defiled the daughter of Jacob. And his soul cleaved unto Diana, the daughter of Jacob. And he loved the damsel, and spake kindly unto the damsel. Let's see what this word love right here talking about. Human love for another, sexual human appetite for objects such as food, drink, act of being a friend, lover, God's love towards man, lovely principles, friends. Okay. He had it bad for her. And Shechem spake unto his father, Homer, saying, Give me this damsel to wife. And Jacob heard that he had defiled Diana, his daughter. Now his sons were with his cattle in the field, and Jacob held his peace until they came home. I was just going to go to this real quick about the Philistines, the descendants of Canaan, to show you that they always want what was promised to the children of Israel, even the women. It's an envious seed line. That's why the scripture says in Genesis chapter 3:15, and I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed, and it shall bruise thine head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. You know, and it would behoove anybody to read Genesis chapter 3:15 in the Targum, Tragum. Much more details, but this is pretty much the gist of it. But it's that enmity, and that Canaan line, seed line, wants everything that Zion supposed to have. Now we're gonna go to Joshua chapter 33. Joshua 33. The book of Joshua chapter 33. Now the book of Joshua chapter 33 goes into more details about what took place, of how the sons of Jacob responded to their daughter, their sister being defiled, etc., etc. But I'm going to read some of it. And in some time after Jacob went away from the border of the land, and he came to the land of Shalem, that is the city of Shechem, which is in the land of Canaan, and he rested in front of the city. And he bought a parcel of the field which was there from the children of Homer, the people of the land, for 5 shekels. And Jacob there built himself a house, and he pitched his tent there, and he made booths for his cattle. Therefore he called the name of the place Succoth. And Jacob remained in Succoth a year and 6 months. And at that time some of the women of the inhabitants of the land went to the city of Shechem to dance and rejoice with the daughters of the people of the city. And when they went forth, then Rachel and Leah, the wives of Jacob, with their families, also went to behold the rejoicing of the daughters of the city. Shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have done that. You know, that's why the scriptures say, you know, separate yourselves. Come out of her, my people. Be not participant. They shouldn't have been there. And Diana, the daughter of Jacob, also went along with them and saw the daughters of the city. And they remained there before these daughters, whilst all the people of the city were standing by them to behold their rejoicing. And all the great people of the city were there. And Shechem, the son of Homer, the prince of the land, was also standing there to see them. See right here? Shouldn't have been there. Shouldn't have been around them. They're envious of you. You don't be around envious people, because envious people are dangerous. And Shechem beheld Diana, the daughter of Jacob, sitting with her mother before the daughters of the city. And the damsel pleased him greatly. And he there asked his friends and his people, saying, Whose daughter is that sitteth among the women? Whom do I not know in the city? And does he know everybody, man? He know all the women, he a whoremonger, most likely. And they said unto him, Surely this is the daughter of Jacob, the son of Isaac, the Hebrew, who has dwelt in the city for some time. And when it was reported that the daughters of the land were going forth to rejoice, she went with her mother and her maidservants to sit amongst them, as thou seest. Shouldn't have done that. You don't hang around people who are covetous of you. You don't hang around these people, especially if they're not even of your own nation, especially if they're of this cursed seed line. All right, shalom. I'm going to continue. Verse 10. And Shechem beheld Diana, the daughter of Jacob, and when he looked at her, his soul became fixed upon her. That's because Satan has infatuation. The children of Satan got infatuation with the Most High's true creation, his true anointed, his holy seed. They want inside on this. They want to be among it. They want to be around it. Not because they love his creation, so to speak, but they want the blessings that come with it. They want the beauty that comes with it. They want everything that is the Most High YAH, but without him. And he sent, verse 11, and he sent and had her taken by force. See, that's what Satan wants to do. Take what's the Most High's by force and mingle it together. And Diana came to the house of Shechem, but she had no business. She shouldn't have been there, though. And Diana came to the house of Shechem, and he seized her forcefully, and lay with her, and humbled her. And he loved her exceedingly, and placed her in his house. And they came and told the thing unto Jacob. And when Jacob heard that Shechem had defiled his daughter Diana, that's the same thing. Look on it from a bigger scale about this mixing thing. This is what Satan likes to do. Satan likes to come in and devour and defile what the Most High has set to be holy. And when Jacob heard that Shechem had defiled his daughter Diana, Jacob sent 12 of his servants to fetch Diana from the house of Shechem. And they went and came to the house of Shechem to take away Diana from there. And when they came, Shechem went out to them with this man and drove with his men and drove them from his house. And he would not suffer them to come before Diana. But Shechem was sitting with Diana, kissing and embracing her before their eyes. You see that? And then when Satan used robbery on the Most High, that's what it is, robbery. Then Satan want to guard the stolen treasures. Okay? And verse 15, and Jacob knew, moreover, that Shechem had defiled his daughter, but he said nothing, and his sons were feeding his cattle in the field, and Jacob remained silent till their return. So this be some good information too, how they went about to go handle this. This for time's sake, I'll skip to the next part that I'm going to read, mainly verse 23. And it reads, and whilst they were speaking before their father in this matter, Behold, Hamor, the father of Shechem, came to speak to Jacob the words of his son concerning Diana. And he sat before Jacob and before his sons, because they want to come together and mingle together. Let us be one people. It is a whole thing about let us be one people. Just like in First Maccabees, when he's talking about let us all be one people, and come together and mingle together. Let's mingle. Single and ready to mingle. All that, man, a lot of his sayings are demonic, and we don't know about it because it's foreign to us, because this information has been hidden from us for a time because of disobedience. But the books are being opened again, and now we're understanding the foolishness that we see around us and the foolishness that we have been a part in. How many of us have said single and ready to mingle? But the mingling, what is that going into? That's Satan trying to mingle together with the holy seed. Wants to mingle it together. Okay? And this is the same aspect of Homer and what is this heathen name? Shechem. Yeah, Shechem. Alright, now we're gonna go to chapter 38. Let me see if I can just type in 38. Alright. Verse 37 to 37 to 46. 37 to 46. And Simon and Levi pursued them. Now, after all this happened, they had a big war. Simon and Levi, they came to defend their sister's honor. And they went on a killing spree, and all the family of Israel came, and it was just a killing spree. But Simon and Levi initiated this, and Simon and Levi pursued them when 12 mighty men. See, but also I'm coming in to show you these the seed, this mingled Nephilim seed that is here. Because watch this. And Simon and Levi pursued them when 12 mighty and valiant men came out to them from the place where they had concealed themselves. And those 12 men maintained strong battle against Simon and Levi. And Simon and Levi could not prevail over them. And those valiant men broke the shields of Simon and Levi. And one of them struck at Levi's head with his sword, when Levi hastily placed his hand to his head, for he was afraid of the sword. And the sword struck Levi's head, and it wanted but little to the head of Levi being cut off. And Levi seized the sword of the valiant man in his hand, and took it forcibly from the man. And when he struck at the head of the powerful man and severed his head. My point, yeah, Levi won, but I'm showing you like these aren't normal men here. These are the, and I don't mean like special forces. Oh, they went to the Navy SEALs. No, these people were born a little bit different. You're going to that seed line of Satan, and how it spread abroad, and it wants to come into the holy seed line, rape the women and seduce the man. And 11 men approached to fight with Levi, for they saw that one of them was killed. And the sons of Jacob fought, but the sons, again, all this is due to what happened to Diana. This is retaliation. They went on a killing spree. And those Hamites started to fight back. But the sons of Jacob could not prevail over them, for these men were very powerful. These aren't normal people. And the sons of Jacob, seeing that they could not prevail over them, Simon gave a loud and tremendous shriek. And the 11 powerful men were stunned at the voice of Simon shrieking. Just crying aloud. And Judah at a distance knew the voice of Simon shouting. And Naphtali and Judah ran with their shields to Simon and Levi, and found them fighting with those powerful men, unable to prevail over them. as their shields were broken. Okay, we're going to go to 46. And Naphtali saw that the shields of Simon and Levi were broken, and he took 2 shields from his servants and brought them to Simon and Levi. And Simon, Levi, and Judah on the day fought all 3 against the 11 mighty men until the time of sunset, but they could not prevail over them. And this was told unto Jacob, and he was sorely grieved, and he prayed unto YAH. And he said, Naphtali, his son, went against these mighty men. And Jacob approached and drew his bow and came nigh unto the mighty men and slew 3 of them, 3 of their men with the bow. And the remaining 8 turned back and beheld the war waged against them in the front and rear. And they were greatly afraid of their lives, and could not stand before the sons of Jacob, and they fled from before them. See, Father got to come save you when you get up in some nonsense. You see that right there? The deep spiritual meaning about this. When the Most High sees his children going through all this stuff, getting trapped up in the mingling of Satan and all that, who got to come? Father. The sons, even though they're powerful and all that, Satan got some power too. Okay, now we're going to go to that these ungodly people came here in a certain manner. This is the point of all this stuff about this unholy seed line here. Okay, now we're going to go to Joshua 40. Joshua 40. I'll do it like this. Go to Joshua 40, verse 56 to 64. Is that supposed to be it? Okay, I decided to move on from there, Joshua, because the just point already came out. So, but it behoove anybody to read that Joshua 38, 39, chapter 40. Pretty good stuff. But just that valiant and powerful man. These were not normal beings. These are my points. These were very strong, valiant, mighty, powerful individuals. These wasn't a normal man, and they came here by certain means. But now we're going to talk about the characteristics of this Nephilim DNA mingling seed line throughout some of the heathen nations, which majority of that stuff came through the line of Canaan. So we're going to go to Isaiah chapter 45 and 14, just to establish some of the characteristics that are not associated with Zion, like the extremely large penises, the extremely tall people. You know, that's not associated with Zion, and that's in, for the penis matter, that's in Enoch chapter 80. Let me get that real quick. That's will be Enoch chapter 86, and one could read verse 1 to 6, and that gives you a good grasp about that. And I'll give you another one in Enoch, and another one in the book of Enoch talking about these extremely large penises. Again, this is not associated with Zion, and is actually spoken down upon. This is Enoch chapter 90, verse 20, and I'll give you one more in the Bible real quick. And to even back this up even more, this is talking about Ezekiel 23. Again, this is not Zion. These talking about the Egyptians, the Hamites. These large penises are not associated with Zion. For she doted upon their Pormius, whose flesh, and let's look up this word right here, Pormius, concubine, Pomora, concubine. For she doted upon their concubines, whose flesh is as the flesh of asses, talking about penis, and whose issue is like the issues of horses. And to clarify that, Ezekiel 23:20. And a more, simpler translation, go to a few. There she lusted after her lovers. Talking about Zion with the Hamites, whose genitals were like those of donkeys. They had very large penises, and whose emission was like that of horses. Their sperm, when they had an orgasm, they had a whole lot of sperm. Genitals, I'm just making sure whose members, the private members, emissions, genitals. I'm just trying to make sure y'all understand this. This is not among Zion. All these large, tall people, all the stuff. These people, these large male members. This is not the stuff that is associated with Zion, and is actually spoken as a negative in the Bible. So I was just bringing that out. But let me go back to Ezekiel 23:20. For she doted upon their pormeriers, whose flesh is as the flesh of asses, and whose issue is the issue like of horses. Okay, because these are the seed line people who are not of the holy seed line. These people have been mingled with perverted DNA, and certain things have come about that. Now we're going to go to Ezekiel 13. Oh, no, not. I mean, back to Isaiah 45:14. 45:14. Going to that mingled seed line that Satan has got in. Thus said El, the labor of Egypt, and the merchandise of Ethiopia, and the Sabaeans, men of stature. See right here, men of stature. Men of stature. Zion is not associated with this tall people. Zion is not that people. Shall come over unto thee, and they shall be thine. The tall people will be your servants. They shall come after thee in chains. These are the slaves, not the servants. They shall come over, and they shall fall down unto thee. They shall make supplication unto thee, saying, surely God is in thee. Surely El is in thee. And there is none else. There is no, gods. It's talking about the gods, the Elohims and all that, the fallen angels, the false gods. Now what? Let's go to Ezekiel 13. Ezekiel 13. And I believe this will be the last part of this series. 13:18. And say, thus saith El Lahim, woe to the women that sew pillows to all armholes, and make handkerchiefs upon the head of every statue to hurt souls! Exclamation point. Because Satan's main weapon is women. Satan uses women to destroy. Will ye hunt the souls of my people? And will ye save? This is the major part right here. Because how are these Nephilim bastards, this perverted seed line, getting here? How are they getting here? And will ye, talking to the daughters of Zion, and will ye save the souls alive that come unto you? Because these souls are not supposed to be alive. Verse 19. And will ye pollute me among my people? Talking to the daughters of Zion. For handfuls of barley, for the riches of the world, pennies on the dollar at that. And for pieces of bread. You see how he sent this handful of money, a handful of barley, and a handful of bread? That's what you sold me for? To slay the souls that should not die, his holy seed. And to save, see right here, to save the souls that should not live by your lying to my people that hear your lies. I was thinking about this earlier. about how Satan never told Adam, you will be like unto God, you will this and this. Satan told that to Eve. So Satan's number one weapon has always been to deceive women, to cause them to bring forth wickedness. And one way they can be deceived and bring forth wickedness is opening their legs to the devil, to the devils, to put seed in them, just like they did with the angels, to bring forth monsters. Okay, now we're going to go to Isaiah chapter 10, giving the characteristics of even, I would say normalized mingled DNA. Isaiah chapter 10, verse 33. Verse 33. Behold, Elohim, the El of hosts, shall lop the bold with terror, and the high ones of stature. See right here, Zion is not associated with being this tall people. That's for the ones who got that mingled DNA. I mean, from my understanding, man, the NBA, the WNBA, they got a whole lot of mingled DNA up in there. That is not normal. That is not associated with Zion to be this extremely tall people. And it's not even extremely tall right now, but they're tall, the 7-footers, the 6'8", the 8-foot tall, etc., etc. Zion is not associated with that. And then these are the more so lesser, less pure DNA. Back in the olden times, you got giants even taller. One giant had a bed that was 15 feet tall. And the high ones of stature shall be hewed down, and the haughty shall be humbled. And we seen that in the I believe that was in Ezekiel 13:18, talking about the high ones of stature, talking about literal stature. Those ones gonna be bound down in chains. Okay, now we're gonna go to 1 Corinthians chapter 11. 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 23. For I have received of Elohim that which also I delivered unto you, that the Yahushua HaMashiach, the same night in which he was betrayed, took bread. This might not be the correct one. First Chronicles. We never left. Good read. Need to take that HaMashiach supper later on today. First Chronicles chapter 11, verse 23. All right. And he slew an Egyptian, that Ham sea line, a man of great stature, 5 cubits high, and in the Egyptian's hand was a spear like a weaver's beam. Not normal stuff here, not normal weapon sizes. And he went down with a staff and plucked the spear out of the Egyptian's hand and slew him with his own spear. But the point here is what? Because you remember in Jasher talking about the mighty man and all that of Egypt and all that, and the Canaanites, also I believe, a man of great stature, the mighty man, the powerful man, etc., etc. Now we're going to go to Isaiah chapter 18. Isaiah 18:7. In that time shall the present be brought unto El of hosts, of a people scattered and peeled, and from a people terrible from their beginning hitherto, a nation meted out and trodden underfoot, whose land the rivers had spoiled, to the place of the name of El of hosts, the Mount of Zion. And I want to read this in a different translation to get y'all to get the gist of it. And it's going to be 18:7 and 2. So this is Isaiah chapter 18. Okay. And two, we're gonna do 2 right now since right there. Which, this is 18 and 2, which sends Ivius by seas in papyrus, boats over the water, go swift messengers to a people tall and smooth skin. Who is that? Who is that? The tall and smooth people, because that's not Zion. Okay, maybe in the Septuagint, check out the Septuagint. It just says, for swift messengers shall go to a lofty nation and to a strange and harsh people. Okay, but the point about this is that tall people, they're tall. A nation, King James 2000, to a nation tall and smooth. New American Standard, 1977, to a nation tall and smooth. These tall people, this tallness is not associated with Zion, because this is that mingled, corrupt DNA. Let's go to verse 7, Isaiah chapter 18, verse 7. We'll go before El Almighty from a people tall and smooth. So I just want to bring this out, the New King James Bible version, from a people tall and smooth, just to point this out. Zion is not associated with this. And you know, that's pretty much the gist of the series on this, the lesson on this. Took me longer than expected to finish the end of this, but that will be the gist of the lesson. I pray that the word went out in truth and sincerity and for edification purposes. And, you know, a lot of people got understanding of this, that, you know, all this tallness, the large rise, the Nephilim, the Emmys, and all this stuff, man. There's a lot of documentation, a lot of research. All praise that the Spirit was in it. And I pray the Spirit go out with it, and, you know, whoever hears it for edification purposes, to understand. Be careful who you lay with. Check the spirit of people. Just don't lay with anybody. You know, it's not even just somebody who got demons on them. You got to make sure, you know, this DNA matter, because, you know, somebody talking about, oh yeah, my grandmother, she had 6 fingers, and, you know, my father's, he's 7'3", man. You gotta be careful with that stuff. You gotta take that mingling and laying with somebody very, very serious, because you just don't want to lay with somebody who potentially got the DNA of a devil, you know. So I'm definitely going to take this advice, and I'm glad the Most High showed me this stuff. This stuff is serious, and Satan loves mixing that DNA. It's like with the mark of the beast. It's going to be a mixture of the DNA right there, and you're not even going to be qualified to be what he considered a quote-unquote human anymore. You're unsavable at that particular time. So, I pray the lesson went out in truth and sincerity, and for edification, and all praises to the Most High through Christ. Hallelujah.